over the pandemic, the parents got a solid look at what was taking place. That's when a lot of parents started noticing the ideology that was taking place, especially an obsessive ideology with the left when it has to come to gender. And they're not just talking about gender with our high schoolers or our junior high kids. They're talking about gender with 4 and 5-year-olds. They're literally starting at the smallest little brain that's in elementary school. They're already talking about their private parts before they even know how to do math.
That's right.
Before they know how to read.
That's right.
And they're dismissing the parents' concerns, which now, thank God, parents are coming out. But I feel like that they're at such an impressionable age, they're forcing an ideology on these children. And it's the federal government.
That's right.
Yes, Governor Greg Abbott, I believe he can stop this. He's the one that appoints people down in Austin. But we have the federal government that are sneaking their way in through bills, through money, which COVID, we got a lot of states got money. Texas got money from COVID, from the federal government. And that's where the federal government comes in and slides something right underneath our nose. And it is. They are pushing an ideology on our most impressionable children, which are 4 and 5-year-olds in elementary school.
And what they're doing is they're wrapping it in this wrapping called the social emotional learning. So when kids walk into classes, instead of a teacher proactively teaching the basics, they're asking, now let's just close our eyes and let's just explain how we feel. And, you know, is mom and dad, are they fighting at the house? So they're transitioning, even with kids in kindergarten, first grade, second grade, into SEL environments. And what that does is it births basically inside these kids this idea that things are broken and I've been raised the wrong way and these teachers have the solution. My parents are the non-safe adults.
They're tapping into their hurt.
Yeah.
They're tapping into the vulnerability. It's like they're finding that vulnerability and they're tapping. And the teachers are telling the children, because the children are very open, especially the younger they are. Some of them don't have a filter. They just tell you how it is.
That's right.
They're not watching what they say. And they're telling the teachers some of this stuff. And the teachers in some of the schools, and this is not all, because I have some friends that are incredible teachers in incredible school districts, and this is not going on there whatsoever. But the teachers are not telling the parents about these conversations. The principals are telling the teachers not to inform the parents of their children, being curious about their gender. They even have, my goodness, when the parent comes and they're concerned about the child, about what they're learning about gender, then immediately that parent becomes a threat. And that's the word that they're using, is your parent becoming a threat to you.
And so what's happening is once these teachers identify that they have leverage with these kids, that's how you wind up with kids by the thousands being funneled into counseling sessions, where these counselors will encourage and push these kids and convince these kids that, yeah, you know what, actually you were born in the wrong body. In fact, your parents have been wrong. Again, they're not the safe adults in this situation. You were born, if you're a boy, you were born in a girl's body. And so the solution for that, and by the way, this is not a rare thing. There are, last conservative numbers, 4,000 kids as we sit here in these chairs, 4,000 kids are being, as we know, psychologically pushed. And there's over 2,000 that we have evidence of, over 2,000 kids being transitioned as we speak. So 6,000 kids in the process. And it begins with a kid sitting down with the counselor and the counselor saying, I think it's possible you were born in the wrong body. And so to kind of curb that and to put a stop to that for now, we're going to put you on some puberty blockers. And the medication that they're using, Kambree, was medication designed for the rare 1 in a million kid who began puberty like at 7 or 8. And they would put them on this medication to slow the process appropriately.
Right.
And when it was the right age, they would take them off this medication and they would begin to progress at the right pace. Well, now there's thousands of kids in Texas who these doctors have prescribed these puberty blockers. And so they're stopping the puberty process. And the danger is the next step never is let's take the kid off of these blockers and let them proceed in the right direction. The next step almost always is let's get these kids on cross-sex hormones. And that's when it becomes irreversible.